Welcome to Go Global World GGW Sharks, Women Sharks. This is an impact event we decided to do after 15 super successful shark events where you, startup founders, met a lot of investors. And so far we had over 2,000 people participated in our events for the past few months. And moreover, we had over 150 connections with investors during these events. This has been great so far, and we want to take it to the next level. That's why today we organized an impact event for women founders with women investors. Why? Because we want to help, and this is the event we will even support each other even more. I will kick out myself from this room because we have 6 investors, women investors, and the ladies will be running this together with me, but I'll be on the backstage. The most important that you guys support each other and you follow the rules. So please keep yourself muted and let's get started. So I'm gonna have a few slides for you because we organize a sponsor, and after this I will have rules and we will introduce the investors. Okay, so Go Global World. Now you are among the first in the world to see how we redesigned our entire product recently, and why we exist, because we want to help startups and investors to find each other with effortless way. So we've built a platform with a smart algorithm behind it to actually automate how investors find startups and how startups find investors. So with our system, investors will save time by receiving 10x more relevant deals. And I'll explain you how. We became product of the day recently on Product Hunt, and I'm really grateful everyone who supported us. So investors right now receive so many funding requests from startups via LinkedIn, via email, via every kind of means of communication. And investors told us that it's just 1% relevant, 99 is irrelevant. And this is really a problem, and because it also creates some chaos and may dismiss good startups that investors are looking specifically. So what we want to do, we are taking this irrelevant stream of deals to investors from all their means of communication and exchange it to relevant ones from other investors and bring back to this investor. So instead of receiving just 1%, investors are receiving 10, 20, 15, 50%, and so on. And you will no longer stay in a database of an investor. An investor will also receive extra deals that they were looking for with actually zero or almost zero effort looking for it, because the system already knows exactly what investor is looking for and as what the startup is doing, all the criteria. So there is no problem for us to do a perfect match automatically. Now, we also have prepared a stunning looking one-pager for startups that investors will be able to see and take their decision fast. That's important because this is how you make sure that you provide the most important information, but also investors wouldn't spend too much time on investigating what exactly you're doing. So this would be a very beautiful one-pager that you can share with your branded link, having all key information. And in the system, those who are registered, you have the power of matchmaking. So the system will connect you, investors, with startups exactly to your criteria. And you no longer will spend time on irrelevant funding requests. So the system will know and will match you only with those who are looking for, and startups as well. And you will be able to communicate only then when you have a mutual interest to connect. Only then the chat will activate, and so you will be speaking only with those people. And more than that, investors can connect not only with startups, but with other investors to co-invest, to invite for investment. And startups, they also can connect not only with investors, but also with advisors. So GGW Women Sharks. This is the event of today. I'm super excited about that. And I'm gonna open the slide with our investors and name everyone, but this is I'm so impressed with so much demand for this event and so much support we received. So who are the investors? We have very nice, great investors from around the world, women sharks. We have Kristina Subbotina, we have Elz Davis, Iris Stanhave, Kelly Lachance, Sage Nye, and Jenny Pyle. So I will let investors to present themselves in a few moments. And right now, let's discuss the rules. So what are the rules? All right, so please keep yourself muted all the time, except for investors. It's important because if you wouldn't be muted, it may ruin someone's speech, and everyone is getting just 2 minutes. So please respect time when you pitch, so you don't have more than 2 minutes, and we'll keep track and we'll stop you if you are behind time. Now, if you want to pitch, please raise your hand to pitch. Women founders will get a priority. If we happen to run out of women founders, then we'll let the rest of the audience to pitch. I hope we'll have enough women today because we had a lot of registrations. But this is what we plan to do. Now, who we're looking for? We're looking for startups with sales, IP, and scalable business model. So because otherwise it's unlikely we can find the right investor for you. But if you pitch, you will have 2 minutes anyway. Please respect time. It's a 2-hour event maximum. And a few investors will have to go before the event finishes. But it's important we are on time and giving everyone a chance to pitch. If you don't get a chance to pitch, please email us at info@gogogo.world. We will let you pitch next time, next event with the priority. So we don't want you to stay without this opportunity to pitch. How to make this pitch perfect? How to convince an investor that what you do is something that deserves their attention. So keep it as a story and get to the point what you do. Why are you unique? That's important. Like how do they know that how you're unique? And traction. They want to know the results you have so far. And if you ever pitched before, you definitely want to tell the investors what has changed since your first pitch. And finally, this is not only the pitch event, it's a networking event. Please support each other in the chat, exchange contacts, and don't sell anything to each other. That's not the place for that. That's the place where you build your network and reputation. So that's probably it. This is Go Global World, and let's find out who are the investors today. And let's start with Maya. Maya, do you want to introduce yourself? Please turn on your mic.
Okay, everybody can hear me. Hi, everybody. I'm Maya Elz Davis. I'm the CEO and founding and general partner at M&D Ventures. It's a firm founded by my husband and I, hence Maya Durand Ventures. I am a 34 years old entrepreneur, tech entrepreneur, venture capitalist. And a little bit about myself, I spent my entire 20s in Washington, D.C., where I'm from, in the federal government space. So I was an advisor for technology transformation projects for cabinet level agencies. And during that experience, I was able to learn a lot about domestic and international markets. That understanding really guided my philosophy on investing, about where companies sit within the ecosystem, especially the global ecosystem. So I'm interested to hear all the pitches today, and I look forward to potentially writing some checks.
Exciting. Great to have you, Maya, with us. Kelly, your turn. And you see, I'm doing it different. I'm doing this not from the left to right, from the right to left, actually. So Kelly.
Kelly Lachance. I'm an associate at Runa Capital. We invest around the world, more specifically, though, in North America and in Europe. We also have initiatives out in Asia. Think about Singapore. Prior to Runa Capital, I was at RBC Capital Markets as part of their investment banking team. My focus across my experiences has been on B2B SaaS, vertical SaaS, and then more specifically, I focus on fintech and have been leading our initiatives in Web3 and in crypto. So excited for the pitches today. And that's it for me.
Yay, we're exciting to have you with us, and thank you for coming. Iris, your turn.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. I'm Iris. I'm a chemist by background, turned into a venture capital investor. Currently at Extantia Capital, I'm head of science. And Extantia Capital is a climate tech venture capital fund based in Berlin, Germany. We're typically scouting for technologies that can abate at least 100 megatons of CO2 equivalents per year when deployed at full scale. So that principle drives us to be more hardware investors rather than software investors. Think of topics like e-fuels, hydrogen, so not your typical B2B SaaS, let's say. We're investing on the relatively early stage of the spectrum, so typically looking for seed or Series A, preferably at least a TRL4 type of prototype that we can have a look at before investing. But yeah, if you have a cool idea in the climate tech space, then let me know.
And I love this specifically because it's an impact event, and this is an impact investor. So that's everything here is about impact. And thank you also, Iris, being with us. Climate is important. Sage, your turn.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sage. I am on the software side, so the exact opposite. But I'm an investor at Venture Guides. We're an early stage infrastructure software technology firm. That's software, right? So cloud, cybersecurity, data, and AI, all of that. We really enjoy working early with founders. And some of the things that I really look for in pitches is understanding what problem you're solving, how your approach is different from everyone else on the market. And then also importantly, this is early stage. So how can we help? And what are you looking for in an investor beyond just capital? So very nice. I've come to a couple of these events. I'm honored to meet Maya finally, because Duran talks about her all the time, and all the other sharks. So thank you.
Exciting to have you as well. And you've been so far on several events. It's fantastic. Thank you for coming again. Kristina, your turn.
Hi, everyone. Very excited to be here. Very nice to meet you. I'm Kristina Subbotina. I'm a corporate lawyer who turned venture investor. I left Cooley, where I was representing venture funds and startups throughout their life cycle, from formation, financings, exits, day-to-day business operations. And in terms of startups, I focus on early stage startups, pre-seed, seed, Series A, intersection of AI, health, neuroscience, especially neurotechnology. And my passion is content creation economy, because I'm a content creator. And as a result, I'm also investing and advising in content creation startups. Although it's far away from neuroscience, but yeah, that's I guess my personality, investing in complete opposite things. Very happy to be here, and I'm super excited about women founders, so it's a privilege to support.
It's a privilege for us to have all of you. Thank you so much for coming. And Jenny, your turn.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm also very excited to be here. Jenny Pyle. I work with Sage at Venture Guides. And just to add to a little more of what she told you about us, we began our fund because we really believe in team-based investing. And in a team-based investing, it's really important to have lots of different perspectives around the room. So one of my passions is to help get more women into venture investing and more women leading startups. So I couldn't be happier to be here today, and I'm excited to get going. Thank you for including me.
All right, so we are about to start. Fantastic, exciting to have everyone. So a few notes I just want to say. If you want to pitch, please raise your hand. There is a button reaction in here where you can raise your hand, and we will let you pitch in the order we receive hands. And ladies will have priority today. And if you also don't have the real name, you will not pitch until we know exactly who it is. So please change your name to make sure that we have real people here. And the investors will say either they are out, they're not planning to connect because it's not a feed or something, there is reason, doesn't matter, or they are interested and we will connect. They will tell us explicitly that they want to connect, and we'll put it on our note. And after the event, we will connect you directly with an investor who selected a separate connection with you. So let's get started. We have first hands, and the first person will be pitching is Heather Lower. Heather, are you here? You ready?
I am here. Thank you so much.
All right, you got 2 minutes. Go for it.
Awesome. So hello, everyone. My name is Heather Lover, and I'm the founder and CEO of CMO, your friendly automated CMO. Marketing is essential to the success of every startup, but existing tools are really scattered and piecemeal, wasting founders' time and making it harder for founders to make that sale or secure that investment. We're here to solve that with CMO, your one-stop shop for all things branding, marketing, and pitching. With our simple personality style quiz, founders tell us about their company, and how they want to be perceived by their customers. We combine that with data from our partners at Crunchbase about what's working in their industry right now, all to generate a custom, strategic, data-backed brand kit, complete with color scheme, logo, and typography suite. Then, with a single click, we apply your new branding to a vast array of marketing materials: letterhead, one-pagers, pitch decks, social media, the works, ensuring you remain consistent, professional, and effective. But that's just our MVP. After our seed round this June, we'll be building our AI-driven pitching system, combining AI with our proprietary frameworks that have already helped our clients raise over $14 million in the past year and a half alone. Best of all, those funds went to 97% underrepresented founders. With SEMO, we're making the on-ramp from ideation to Series A easier, all to advance the cause of equality throughout venture capital. To learn more or sign up for our upcoming beta or to attend our upcoming Techstars demo day, please visit perfectlypitched.co/SEMO. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. And your questions, dear Sharks?
So, Heather, you mentioned your pitching system. I wasn't quite clear where you do sit in the ecosystem. You mentioned Crunchbase. What are we getting that's going to assist an entrepreneur in their pitch?
Yeah, absolutely.
Walk me through the process.
Yeah, the system starts with our branding quiz to get the underlying messaging and imagery correct, because the real problem in the market right now is that there are a bunch of different individual tools, but there's nothing pulling it all together. So it starts with figuring out what you want to convey to your customers. Then we generate a logo, color scheme, and brand kit. That is then—
Now, is that manual, or do you have an algorithm that's doing that?
It's a full AI algorithm. Okay. So it pulls in data from Crunchbase. We figure out what you want to evoke from your customers, which pulls in color theory and everything like that. And then it automatically figures out what's going on in your industry right now with your competitors and your dream investors, what brand decisions are landing right now and getting investment. And then that recommends a full brand kit. Then that is automatically applied to a series of marketing templates so that your colors, your fonts, your imagery, all of that is consistent across the board, making sure you have that seamless marketing experience. The MVP includes pitch deck templates, but after we raise our seed round, we're then going to use AI to generate the storytelling that makes that pitch both entertaining and investable. So it's going to be a series of frameworks that help to give AI a little bit more direction to create those pitch deck storylines. Does that make more sense?
Okay. Yes, definitely understood. So how are you monetizing this? What is the business and revenue model?
Yes, it's all B2B SaaS. So there's a standard subscription, depending on whether you're an individual founder or an ecosystem provider. For instance, we've partnered with a lot of different accelerator programs, universities, VC funds, et cetera. And that's how our private beta is going to work. And they pay for individual seats that then their founders, cohort members, or portfolio companies are then used to consolidate their marketing.
And do you currently have revenue?
We do, but it was from our early stage MVP as a consultancy. So we were manually testing the underlying models. So I know that doesn't exactly apply to the B2B SaaS, just more to prove the concept. And we're currently building the MVP, which will launch in September.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there more questions?
Yeah, Heather, just to clarify, you mentioned you made a significant, you've helped your customers a lot. But I thought in response to Maya's question, you were saying you don't have customers yet. Where exactly are you on gaining traction?
Yes, we had customers. So we tested out the underlying methods first before building a single line of code. And we operated as a consultancy to test it out manually. And we had lots of customers there. We helped over 300 individual founders. We had enterprise level partnerships with a wide variety of accelerators: Halcyon Incubator in DC, Jumpstart Foundry, Start Out, DC Startup Week, University of Maryland. So we had customers from the consultancy, and we have several of those pivoting now to customers for the beta. But since we're still building the beta MVP, we obviously don't have customers for the actual SaaS really yet, besides those initial partnerships. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So Heather, based on the stage that you're at, just so you know, I'm interested in talking to you because myself, my husband, we have a lot of branding and marketing skill sets. So we're both graphic designers. We both build both of our brands. So I'd like to see what your product will generate based off of some inputs that I give to see how it fares towards what we've created. If there lies some superiority there.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. I'd love to show it to you. Thank you so much.
Congrats. We have one shark in, and what about the rest of 5 sharks?
May I ask a quick question about the team? Because the precede, it's kind of team is the most important part.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the founder. I've been an entrepreneur literally my entire life. I started my first community organization at 7, my first education nonprofit at 13. I'm literally in 2 collegiate textbooks because of the work I've done from MIT and Harvard Law. So my background's in creative writing, design, public speaking, and television production. My CTO is a former executive at AOL. And he usually builds enterprise level software. Before me, his last client was Bloomberg. I'm most excited. We just got an absolute branding legend on our advisory board, Peter King Robbins, who used to run Bird out of LA. He's developed branding for Salesforce, Pandora Music, a whole bunch of big names. So that's really the leadership team right now. We also have legal support from Gunderson Detmer, who's a partner providing pro bono services, and financial support from Supercharger.
Awesome.
The person from AOL, I'm sorry, I forgot your CTO's name, but does he have experience working with data models and any LLMs or anything like that? Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
His name is Jake Rosenhalf, by the way.
Thank you. I think it's intriguing. I'd like to learn more. My biggest question would be around what data set you're using. We can talk about this offline, but this is going to take a lot of training to develop a model like this, even with the templates that you're leveraging. And so I'd need to understand how you're planning to train your MVP. But it's a cool idea.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'd love to tell you all about it.
So Sharks in. What about Kelly and Iris?
Yeah, super interesting idea. We've already kind of considered some investments in the space, so I just know from a partnership standpoint, this would we would not necessarily consider, but great team and a great seemingly product.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kelly. Iris?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, marketing is a super powerful tool, but we're a climate tech fund, so I would be out, unfortunately. Thank you, though.
No problem. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Heather. And we're moving on to the next person. Heather, please stay till the end, support others. And the next person is Bindu Kalesan. Bindu, go for it. You there?
Yes. Hi, Danielle. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Bindu Kalesan. I'm a medical researcher and clinical trialist with about more than 20 years of experience, and I have over 115 peer-reviewed scientific articles published in very reputable journals. I was actually part of the problem because I was doing clinical trials where participants were 100% white, largely male, and maybe a few diverse participants. And the results was we approved many drugs and mainly medical devices. You know, those kind of devices that goes in your heart when you get a heart attack? That's what I did. And they were all done on 100% white population. I did that. So the result is that we have drugs and devices where we're not sure that it works for people like me. So when I go to India and I see so many dialysis clinics, that's because diabetes is very high. And in the end, what happens to Indian people is that they get kidney disease and they finally die of sudden cardiac death. Among Black people, they get amputation. But that does not happen in white populations because they're very well studied. So both the effectiveness and the safety are very, very well known, right? But not any other population, but neither do drugs come with known to be effective only in white population. Does not happen. But this is not okay because 93% of the world is non-white. So I stepped out and created Turi Health to do decentralized clinical trials. Clinical trials are very, very expensive. We aim for half of our participants to be diverse. And we moved from a site-centric setup to a much less expensive patient-centric setup. Finding diverse participants is key here. So we are in the process of equity partnership with neural technologies where they allow people to sign up by giving their health data, and instead they are paid for their participation. So we're also partnering with Ash Wellness for virtual labs, and we have a plan to use Medidata DCT platform, and in the process of choosing our remote monitoring partner and a virtual pharmacy. After the trial, we will help them by bettering their heart health using lifestyle medicine, because I'm certified in lifestyle medicine. We have interest from Boehringer Ingelheim and CSL Behring to work with us since FDA said, put its foot down and said, you cannot come to us with trials with very few non-white participants. You have to have diverse participants. So this is the time, guys. So I hope you all are with me, and our team is very highly talented, not just me, but we're all ex-VPs and scientists and health professionals who've been in this space. And we're all immigrants, women, and people of color doing this because we're just done with the status quo. And we're looking for angel funding and seeking 2.5 to 2.25 million. So I hope I will get some feedback from you guys, as well as someone who will help us go the rest of the way. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, dear Sharks, your questions.
Oh, one more thing, I'm going to drop my slide in the chat, the pitch deck in the chat.
So Bindu, how do you make money?
Good question, B2B. So
and for anybody who's pitching, please include that. I'm glad that you put how much you were raising, because I didn't know if you were going to make it there, but we need to know what you're raising and how you're making money. We're VCs.
So one clinical trial costs around $31 million. So what we will do is partner. That's why, we already spoke to multiple potential customers who are pharmaceutical companies and medical device companies. And 2 of the companies are interested in working with us already because they have clinical trials where they are not meeting the criteria of diverse participants. And because clinical trials are so expensive, $31 million to do one trial. So DCTs can literally half that. Even half is really good, but there are ways that we can even do it at 1/6, depending on the type of the trial. So that's how we plan to make money, work directly with pharmaceutical companies.
Please keep yourself a little shorter. It's just to let everyone speak. It applies to everyone pitching.
So Bindu, what are the challenges around getting access to the right medical data that you need?
Well, the challenge here will be getting clinical trial participants. It's very difficult. Like people like me will say, I won't participate in a clinical trial. So that's why we're partnering with neural technologies. So when we partner with them, they're building their infrastructure and they've started to take patients. And what they do is they allow people to sign up and provide all sorts of medical data and indicate their interest in trials. And best part is they reimburse them. So every time the data is used, people get money. So health becomes a hustle. And we don't do any sort of innovation where we're getting data that way. So one of the VCs that I was pitching to earlier, they put us in touch because we were trying to build that infrastructure. They said, Bindu, no, you do what you're good at. You do your clinical trials, but let me put you in touch with them. So that's how that partnership was born. So I know every time I talk to VCs, I always get something.
All right.
And are your clinical trials focused on a specific, problem or area? Because I know as you continue to, study a space, you need to have a certain expertise at a point. I'm not sure I caught that from your presentation.
Yeah, so I'm a clinical trials who's done multiple different clinical trials, from oncology to cardiovascular to even regular trials. So what we specialize in as epidemiologists is the know-how. So we really don't need to know exactly, we don't need to be therapeutic area friendly, but we need to know it.
Thank you.
So, and Bindu, if you are able to raise the money, I'm not as clear on what's the plan to grow. Can you expand a little bit? How would you use that money?
Yes, we will use that money to, number one, build a team. So you'll see that in the pitch deck on the 14th slide, I've put together what the team is going to look like, right? All the elements of the team, that's number one. And 2, we will build a platform based on AI and blockchain, which needs to really go through and through all the 5 elements that we talked about. So patient recruitment, actually doing the DCT platform, and virtual pharmacy, virtual labs, and eventually remote patient monitoring.
Thank you.
Traction that you got, any partnership agreements, LOIs?
Yes. So we do have we are currently in the process of doing all that. And this is thanks to Daniel. He's the one who told me, this is what you need to do, because I'm new about all this. I've been a scientist all my life. So we're doing an equity partnership with Neural Technologies. And we're also doing a partnership with Ash Wellness. We're having an agreement with Medidata, which is going to be the platform Medidata or Jiva. And remote patient monitoring, we're still looking at 5 different companies. We haven't really nailed down. Pharmacies, remote pharmacy, there's so many. We don't really need to. And Boehringer Ingelheim, and there is CSL Behring. So these are the 2 pharmaceutical companies who actually really liked our product, what we're doing, because also it comes with my reputation in that world where I've done so many different clinical trials. So they're wanting to work with us. They said, we're going to be your first clients when you're ready, up and running.
Thank you.
Are there more questions? All right, seems like we are out of questions.
Yeah, so I'm still not clear on the path to profiting, so I'd pass on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, Bindu, I agree with you that this is a critical area, and I love that you're tackling it. It's outside of our scope as we invest in infrastructure software. So I'm sorry, we're going to have to pass on this as well.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Kristina, and we're moving forward. And the next person presenting is Daniela Erica Clark. Daniela, you ready? Hello, Daniela.
Yeah, sure. I can go. Yeah, that'll be great.
You got 2 minutes. Go for it.
Okay, hold on. Let me sign myself. Okay. All right, great. I'm Danielle, and I'm co-founder of True Workspace. We are a video-based remote and hybrid work platform. We help teams of 10 to 1,000 plus feel connected and inspired by working in a virtual office environment. So what's the key problem that we solve? Well, people in remote and hybrid teams are often more productive. We're right here on a virtual event, so we know the advantages of being able to meet online. But they often find that they have unique problems. Some of those problems include feeling 55% feel compelled to be online to prove to their management they're working and what they're working on. 20% are reporting feeling lonely or isolated while working remotely, or 45% with the current tools available, including Teams, Zoom, Slack, etc. They feel 45% want better team collaboration. So that's where we come in. We're an amazing video-based virtual office platform. And our goal is to make these remote and hybrid teams increase employee engagement and motivation. This allows employees to be fundamentally more productive and generate more revenue. Studies have shown people in remote and hybrid teams actually generate 2.5 times more revenue if they're highly engaged. So what does that mean? They feel that their management knows what they're working on, they feel motivated, they feel valued, and they feel that their work is a contribution to the greater good of the company. We have fantastic traction. We've actually talked to major companies like IBM, HubSpot, Walmart, GoDaddy, and the list goes on. So right now, we do have a desktop application for both Mac and Windows. You feel free to contact me and we can show you the demo. Almost 80% of the people that see the demo either want to purchase the product or do a 90-day free trial. So we have a fantastic team. I was part of the On Deck founder program. We have people that worked at Splunk, McKinsey, and major companies. We have a pretty much straightforward B2B SaaS revenue model, and we're raising 500,000. So just feel free. I'll put my information in the chat. And if you're interested in being part of a billion-dollar SaaS platform, contact me and we'll see if it's a good fit. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Billion-dollar SaaS platform. Who's interested?
Yeah, so Danielle, this is a big space. There's a lot of big companies competing in this space. For example, Meta. So Meta Horizon Workrooms is the first that comes to mind.
How do you plan? Talking about Facebook?
Meta. Well, it's now Meta. But yes, they have Horizon Workrooms. Are you familiar?
Yes, that's a definite conversation I've had with many venture capitalists, and usually once they see our demo, they know that we are not competitive with Meta in any capacity. So if you're interested in finding out what we're doing,
When you say, okay, so where do you fit in the ecosystem of having virtual workspaces? So help me understand.
I'd rather,
Because my question is going to be geared towards how are you competing in the marketplace at the high. So as a VC, I want to know that the entrepreneur that I'm investing in, the idea they're competing at the highest level. So help me understand that.
Yeah, that's why we've talked to people at all these companies, IBM, Extantia, and on and on. So if you're interested, you can set up a meeting and we'll do a demo and see if it's a good fit. We are not competing with or Meta platforms in any capacity.
We're talking here. We're in a venture capital forum. So I'm asking as a VC, where do you guys fit in the ecosystem?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. We have competitive analysis. We have over 30 slides going through it, but this is a public forum, and Meta is a publicly traded company. I've had to deal with this conversation over and over again, and that's really not what our problem is. That is not our competitive space. And if you're a fit, then we can talk about it.
So, sure. So the question is, what was your space? I'll move on to the next person who has questions, because you did join a public forum, a venture capital room. So as VCs, we're going to ask you public questions.
Yeah, but exactly. So if it's a good fit, we can see if you're a good fit for investment. If not, then it's okay.
Very well.
I'll pick up a little bit on what Maya's saying. I think what's really important is for us to understand how can you differentiate yourself from the competition, and what
exactly, and that's what I'll do if we have a meeting. I go through it, because I'm not going to go through the details of the competitive landscape when I've literally had Meta platforms reach out to me over 15 times for a position. I know that they have people always asking me what we're doing, and we are not competitive with Meta platforms. So that's the end of my conversation on that discussion. Okay.
Oh, well, we know what you're not. Very well.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other sharks would like to ask any questions? It's kind of unusual to see a push from a startup, but okay. Okay, thank you so much, Danielle. Appreciate that. And we're moving on to the next person. Thank you for your presentation, and good luck with your project. Still sounds like a great idea, but probably our investors would like to know more and to connect. They need to.
Exactly. And I mean, Meta's not the only company out there. Their stock is tanked, and we always get this silly question. They tried to hire me like 15 times. We're not competitive with Facebook. Okay, thank you
so much, Danielle. Appreciate that. Let's continue, and you'll get a chance to pitch to other investors as well. Appreciate this. And we're moving on. And the next person is Alison Dibol. Alison, you here?
I am here. Hello.
Okay, you got 2 minutes. Go for it.
Fantastic. I am Alison Dibol. I own a company called Gabriella Rossetti, which is a sustainable e-commerce company offering luxury apparel for women sizes 12 to 24. Now, Sharks, I'm going to give y'all a pop quiz, and don't worry, there will be fabulous grand prizes. In this country, what % of women do you think wear size 12 or above? And y'all please call out the answer, because I can't see you to call on you, which is what I would
60%.
do. 60%. Okay, good guess. Anything else?
65.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be up to 70.
That's all good. It's actually 75%. So 75% of the women in this country wear size 12 or above, obviously the majority. Guess what percentage that majority spends of overall women's apparel dollars every year in the US?
12, 20.
Okay, you're going in the right direction. It's 20. It's 20. So the reason is not that those ladies don't want to have anything to wear, it's that there's a lack of buying opportunity. That's where Gabriella Rossetti comes in. So what Gabriella Rossetti is doing is we've completely upended the conventional fashion model. We've made it much more modern, much sleeker. There are 3 particular elements that create our special sauce. The first is that we evaluated the plus size market, which is an underserved mass market, and we went into the sector that is even more underserved. That's a strategic opportunity. We also developed our proprietary form fit technology So our clothes fit really beautifully, and they use fabrics and design details that fit this community just right, which is a historic problem with plus size. The second is we've instituted drop shipping only. We don't do wholesale. Drop shipping allows us to partner with the newly created retailer e-commerce marketplace platforms. That's how we're selling. So it allows us to seamlessly partner with retailer platforms right now, domestically very easily, and ultimately internationally very easily. Our third thing is that we are manufacturing on demand. We are not creating inventory in China and shipping it back and forth across the country. We're manufacturing.
Alison, sorry, you passed time. Please wrap it up.
Okay. Sales are very strong. We're selling on Neiman Marcus, on Saks Fifth Avenue. When we onboarded with Saks, our sales grew by 300% the first month. That's going to be consistent as we onboard with more platforms. And I think I'm getting gonged. My time is up.
Thank you. Appreciate that. All right.
Yes,
your questions.
Yeah, Allison, first I want to say thank you. That was a great presentation. You were engaging, you clearly know your market, you know your customer pain points, and you've thought about how to address them, which is amazing. You're distinguishing yourself from your competition and thinking about what's important, particularly with the shipping. And I love that I'm a little worried about your individual manufacturing. I don't know how that's going to scale. So I'm eager to hear more. I will say, Venture Guides, this is way outside of our area, but I would be interested to follow up. I don't know if you're taking angel investments, but I'd love to learn more.
I have just launched a seed round of $1 million. So angels are my best friends right now. I would love to talk more about that.
Love to hear more about it.
Sure.
So Allison, if I go into the Saks Fifth Avenue website now, is that where I'll be able to purchase your wear?
Yes.
Your design?
Purchase as much as you would like. Go right ahead.
Okay.
We're also on Neiman Marcus and others.
Very interesting. And what will you be utilizing the funds for?
So what's happening right this minute, as of Friday, is because in the past, since we onboarded with Saks a month ago, we have increased our sales by 300%. So right now, we have got to address this additional sales volume. It's fantastic, but it means I need to open up new manufacturing capacity, bring in more raw goods for production, make a much more robust drop ship distribution system, bring on more team members. So that's what we're going to be using the money for. At this point, I'm
highly interested. My husband and I both have fashion backgrounds. When I was in high school, I attended the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York, their high school program. Yes, I also went to Laboratory Institute of Design and Merchandising in New York City and did some work also here in LA with FITM. So the fact that you're telling me you have that traction, I can go into Saks today, Neiman Marcus, find your apparel online. It sounds like you have some real traction. So Danielle, if you could connect us, that would be great.
Thank you. And I will say we're already teed up to move on to more platforms. Our growth is not going to be a problem in terms of onboarding on more platforms. We need a cash infusion.
You need to scale.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Question. Have you considered debt financing? Because if you already have the revenue, you can secure without giving up the rights. And it doesn't seem like you're raising smart money. You just need cash for manufacturing. You already.
That's exactly right. And thank you. I have thought of that. If we do financing against our receivables, it's not enough. We have to do a bigger lift. We're at an inflection point in the company. So we just have to build out more capabilities.
And why did you choose to raise equity versus debt?
I'm interested in doing this as safer convertible. Yeah.
Yeah, but also, for example, banks, they provide just the debt. Convertible, it's primarily equity, like you will dilute yourself significantly. Yes. Why not take money from banks?
So here's the thing. I've bootstrapped the company to date. And so I've pulled us into a seed round versus pre-seed or friends and family. And at this point, I don't want to encumber the company with more debt. It's the right thing for me at this point to sell some to bring in outside capital.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I know there was a question somewhere. I own 100%. I haven't taken any outside capital. I've been doing a lot of couch surfing to get the pennies needed, and that's gone well so far.
Yeah, again, reach out to me. That we have a division within our M&D Ventures firm called Beauty Fash, and we were highly interested. And we understand the fact that you don't want to put any more pressure on your balance sheet. My husband was just messaging me in the background, so we completely understand.
Fantastic. One shark is in. Congratulations. What about the rest?
Fantastic.
Thanks.
I think Jenny would also like an introduction.
Yes.
Okay. I'm available starting exactly as soon as this call ends.
Okay.
We'll connect you as soon as we can. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow.
Jenny, we're going to fashion.
All right. Y'all, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Drop the
much.
link in the chat.
All right. Fantastic. We're moving on, and the next person is guys, you know, you're writing to me that you want to pitch. I see your hands and I see your messages, but ladies today have the priority to pitch. If it happens that we don't have more women founders to pitch today, it may happen, no one knows, but then we will have a priority. But please stay, support ladies with their pitch. It's not easy to pitch within 2 minutes. And ladies, please raise your hands. The more founders, women founders should get a chance to pitch. Now, next person is Camila Navarro. Camila, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
You got 2 minutes. Please go for it.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I am Camila Navarro, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Milatech. We are a cutting-edge chatbot on steroids with a unique IP behind it. There are over 50 million brands that sell through WhatsApp, and 85% of purchases in Latin America are made through WhatsApp. Milatech is the first superbot to ever exist. Think ChatGPT and Salesforce have a baby. So we created Mike, our first chatbot personality that integrates with WhatsApp to sell for you. Mike is really special. He can recognize products in images and understand sentiment and intent. Mike has a 75% conversion rate in comparison to email call to actions, which normally are around 15%. Our team is made by unconventional second-time founders with previous exits that have bended the rules to create the change we want to see in the world. I'm Colombian. I created my first business at 16 and I sold it a year later. Then I became a software architect of a sales software that I led when I was 18. And at 20, I created a business that scaled from 0 to 500,000 in 4 months. We have validated with 3 clients that generate more than $3 million yearly. And additionally have 3 design partners that have tested the product successfully. The future of Milatech is getting every single customer service interaction to be managed by Mike through voice artificial intelligence. Think call centers, drive-thrus. Every time you talk to a company, Mike will be on the other side. This is the future. We are raising our pre-seed round of 500K with already 25% of the round committed by our lead investor and looking for investors that can guide us and join our mission in changing the customer service industry forever. Join us in the AI revolution. Thank you.
AI revolution. Thank you. Awesome. Fantastic.
Camila, thank you so much. This was great. And I do see the huge need in emerging markets. What kind of markets are you prioritizing right now?
Sorry, I missed the first part of the question. Can you repeat?
Yeah, the first was just a comment. Thank you for the presentation that the need for this in emerging markets is huge because the US market is saturated. So I would assume that's not going to be for the US market. So what are the markets that you are prioritizing?
Yeah, so we are prioritizing Latin America. And I wasn't planning of coming to the US, but I do have US clients. And I think that the adoption of WhatsApp is growing to a really fast rate. So I think we will probably also come here.
And the traction that you have, which country is that?
We have 3 clients here, 3 in Latin America. So we're split.
Which country?
We have 3 in the US and in Latin America, we have in Colombia.
Colombia, okay.
And Mila, can you explain a little bit about your pricing strategy? You mentioned that you...
Yeah.
Thanks.
Absolutely. So our business model is SaaS subscription model. We have 3 different tiers, which vary depending on the amount of messages that you send or receive. And we do have the custom corporate membership plan that is customized. And this is what we're focusing on right now. We want to have those domino clients that can bring us the real revenue before we go tackle the whole world.
I got it. So it's a subscription. It's not based on per message. You're not getting paid per message. You're getting paid. You choose a plan and then you're set number.
Correct.
And what if someone goes over their messages in the plan?
You pass to the next tier.
Also, what kind of team do you have?
Yeah, so we're all really young, as you can realize, but we are all second-time founders. I had 2 exits. There were small exits, you know, but my CTO is an engineer, and he has worked with AI and data models for almost 10 years. And then I have a chief growth officer, which is, he has a lot of e-commerce stores. Like, he's a serial e-commerce founder, which is really interesting because he's the one giving us the insight on what the interaction with the client should be. And that's something that I wasn't expecting, but it just came together really well.
And what is your go-to-market? Yeah, in the countries that you already tackled.
Yeah, I have a question about the go-to-market because this conversation has been pretty vague. So from my assessment, I hear things. We're in LATAM, we're going to the US markets, we have clients, we do messaging. Like, what is your go-to-market strategy? Who are you targeting? Walk us through a specific example so we can understand what you actually plan to do to break the US market.
Absolutely. So I'm going to focus on the Latin American market because this is our main focus right now. Right now, we want to start with e-commerces. So we already have about 15 signed contracts that we are not able to take yet because they're really big. And this is why we are raising the money right now. Like, we need to have at least 2 months more of development in our product to be able to take these clients. And then we're just going to take that lead list that we have and just execute with them.
Yeah, somebody sent, I think, a link in the chat saying that it would make it clearer. So, I mean, I would prefer you be able to verbalize it. I don't have to search for the clarity, which I'm just not grasping at this juncture.
Yeah, it was me. I just, it's the website that basically shows the WhatsApp thing.
Okay. Thank you for that. I'm gonna go check that out later.
Okay, are there more questions from the Sharks? Sage.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I'm sort of wondering is a lot of these chat bots and such have issues with hallucination or creating information or answers and stuff. And I'd be a little bit curious around what sort of guidelines you guys have in place to try to manage anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, we're starting with e-commerces. What we do is we analyze their past interactions with their clients and we identify patterns, and then we create an algorithm surrounding that. So Mike can kind of predict what they're going to ask and connect to the information of that client and answer whatever question they're making. For example, most people ask, how much is this product? Where are you located? So he already has the information to those answers, and that's how we created the algorithm. Is that clear?
Yeah, and I wanted
to... I guess what I'm wondering is, why won't Mike just make up an answer if it's not part of the data that you've already inputted, you know?
If it's not part of what?
So for example, if it's not the data that you trained Mike on, like if I ask Mike, what kind of boats do you use?
Yeah.
To ship your product, why won't Mike just say like a sailboat or come up with a random type of answer, or a cat?
Yeah. So we limited him because this happens a lot. Like ChatGPT, a lot of people would just come and like ask, I'm feeling this, like Mike was now a psychologist, basically. So we limit him to just guide the conversation again to, hi, like I am a robot that's trained to answer questions about this store and certain products. So we did train him for that.
Okay. So it would have been interesting to hear. So advice to you on your next pitch. Talk to us about how you're actually training this model and what people can, the value that they can find from it, because that would be much more beneficial, where we could instantly say, okay, we get it, we understand, and we also know that you're able to say, here's the strengths and here are the weaknesses.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, I also wanted to give the feedback because I understood immediately only when I opened the website. Then it became clear the pitch could be more clear. And go to market, I still don't understand. If you target small businesses, are you going to go to all of the small shop in each city in each country of Latin America? How are you going to tackle the volume? I think that is the most important thing, because the idea is not new. A lot of people are trying to do that, and the first will get the prize. So how do you get there? And it's not necessarily the question like for this presentation, but it's just like for future, how are you going to win the market on the scale?
Absolutely. Thank you for your feedback. Something that I do want to say is, I know this is a growing market. There's a lot of people going in it, but what does make us different is that we realize that the artificial intelligence technology means nothing if you don't integrate it with a database. So if you don't have the information of your client, a bot is almost useless. And this is what we do that makes us so different. So Mike, for example, does image recognition, which is really, really unique. And this is what we're working on, just making it very unique.
So Camilla, we gave you some really good advice. I think there's some room for you to refine your pitch. So go ahead and take that and incorporate it for the next time.
Thank you.
Because, yeah.
All right. So seems like we are all set. We have few sharks interested, and we will definitely connect. Now, I just request to ladies. I see a lot of ladies here in Zoom, but for some reason you're not raising hands. This is exactly the pitch event for you. Don't be shy to raise hand and pitch, because we want to hear your projects. So the next.
Hey, Daniil.
Yes.
No, let the ladies tear these guys apart as well. Some of these guys aren't ready for these ladies. Let some of these guys go.
Yeah,
let them rip some of these guys apart. I want to hear the ladies rip these dudes apart.
That is the priority today.
Chris, I think Christopher Gonzalez in the chat.
So we can break that sexist bias. Let the world see these ladies shred these guys. I'm going on.
Yeah, we will give this chance as well. Absolutely. Emanuela Ben Yeboch, please go for it. Are you here? Emanuela? All right, so while we're waiting for...
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, go for it. You got 2 minutes.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Emanuela Ben Ebo, and I am the founder of Skillset. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering what Skillset is or what it does. But before I get there, let me share with you a nice little quote that I saw online. This is by Natalie Pawlowski from Cornell University. You might not believe me, but I would say I've submitted close to 500 different applications. Now, when you look at that, you would think that someone from Cornell would have gotten a job right off the bat because she comes from an Ivy League school, but somehow there's a mismatch. Why is she applying to 500 different companies and still not getting results? About 61 million Gen Zers are about to enter the workforce. Do we have the ability or the capacity to receive all of them? And what's the job market going to look like? Our current climate. So ever since the start of the pandemic, we've seen a rise in competition in the job market, and there's been fluctuations in employee behaviors as people are unaware of the true consequences of COVID-19 and the vaccinations, and a great desire to see things come back to normal. However, we're getting very far from normal. The more the days keep advancing, the more it becomes evident that we have to think of new ways to innovate within the different industries across the globe. One of the key places we've decided to explore is the hiring process. Now, the main problem is that recruiters are actively looking for skills to solve specific and unique problems in their organization, especially from a more experienced workforce. And Gen Zers are noticing that current educational models are not helping them stand out in this ever-changing job market. Neither is experience. So there's a mismatch. How might we enable Gen Zers find the right company that suits their skills and passions? I'm introducing Skillset, which is basically a job site that helps college students match their. Sorry, I am a little nervous. So I'm introducing.
You have your past time. Please wrap it up.
Okay, I'm introducing Skillset, which is a job search site that focuses on helping college students and recent grads have a more targeted search on roles that fit their skills and interests. So you can think of it as a couple between LinkedIn and other social media platforms, but just making it more specific. So accommodating things like actual jobs, but then also shadowing opportunities, opportunities to work with startups and the like. So
thank you so much. Let's move on to
Okay.
questions. And
All right.
I just Iris Tenhaif just texted that she had to go because she had a dinner and couldn't miss, but she was so thankful to everyone for participation. Okay, so let's move on. And what's your question, dear Sharks?
So I'll start with some feedback and then I'll hear your response. So some feedback is you spent the majority of your time giving us somewhat of a commercial, providing quotes and context, like, as if you were educating us on the problem, which wasted a lot of your time on pitching. I understand you were nervous, but you have to go straight to the pitch. And secondly, when I actually was able to understand what you were doing, it made me think of other types of apps like Handshake, for example. Handshake is already integrated on many college campuses. I've utilized it before to recruit people. Something like that you're doing, it would require you to go on the ground, go to all these universities, tell them why they should not utilize Handshake or other types of apps. And I don't know if you're necessarily that person to do that, because you aren't pitching with confidence. It doesn't seem like you actually understand the market, because if you did, you'd be talking to us more about the market than the actual problem. And you would also be able to tell us, hey, I know that there's other apps out there. I know that there's other things like Handshake that are much more integrated in the college campuses and in on the commercial side with the businesses who are recruiting these college people. And here's how I'm going to attack them.
Well, I would say from a competitive advantage, I would say that yes, there are a lot of job site companies out there. There's LinkedIn, I know there's Glassdoor, and I have used Handshake. I'm actually an IIT student myself. But what I would say that is very different from other platforms is this idea of social. So yes, LinkedIn is social, where you can connect and network with others.
So you're building a social network?
Yes.
Okay. How many users do you have?
Right now, it's purely in idea stage. I just wanted to get feedback because it came from a class project. So I just wanted to get feedback. That's why I'm doing this.
Yeah, I wanted to say that good job. It's I understand that this is an idea and it took a lot of courage for you to come here and to pitch the idea. So, and it's just the beginning of your journey. And I think the most important part is to take that idea and package it in a good pitch deck that you present really well. And while you're presenting that, focus on team, problem, solution, market, and traction. I'm going to post a link. Because I've reviewed so many pitch decks, I outline the things that all the VC funds are looking for. Take a look and just create 5-10 slides going through that. And the most important slide for you would be, what is your differentiator? Compare with other companies out there, and then test. So I think the next step for you is to have the pitch deck and a good presentation with good understanding how you are different from all of the competitors out there.
And I think just building off that, some of the partners in our firm were actually in LinkedIn, invested in it. And I think one of the differentiations that is worth noting is your go-to-market model, because it is going to be how can you take over as much of the market as you can before your competition develops something that looks similar to yours. And so as you think about that, really thinking about how are you going to scale this as fast as you can and get as many users on the platform as quickly as you can.
Thank you.
Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
That did a good job, and don't be afraid to be authentic. I love that you tell us that you're nervous. That's always a positive thing. So we want authentic founders. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the courage, and thank you, judges, for the support. It's so important that judges are supporting entrepreneurs. So we're moving on to the next presenter, and that would be, just one second, Miranda Naminishvili. Miranda, you ready?
Yes.
Please go for it. You got 2 minutes.
Hello, Miranda Micheshvili. I'm founder of Virtual Story Startup. In today's world, as a fast-paced lifestyle, reading books can be a daunting task, especially for younger audience who are constantly bombarded with social media and online activities. As a result, more than 25% of literature readers worldwide has declined, which is really problematic for overall educational level. Meanwhile, gaming industry is growing rapidly because games are more fun, but education can also be this fun. By combining books and video games, virtual story application is going to make reading process more engaging and interactive for younger audience. Our model is B2C and B2B as well. With B2C models, there's going to be subscription packages. And with B2B model, we're going to collaborate with educational and publishing companies and modern book authors. So far, we have made out our first prototype, and we have tested on local schools and parent groups, and we have around 300 to 400 potential users. However, we are still in the process of go-to-market strategy planning, which we are planning to go on in June when we have up to 3 prototypes. So far, we also had 1 different accelerator, so we have experience with this stuff. And in our team, we have experienced team members of art and technology, and our main purpose and our main goal is to make a digitalization of books and make literature more popular, because like literature is less advanced in edtech industry right now. So we want to make a reading process fun and engaging for children, which will make it more proficient, as child psychologists say also. So yeah, our next step is to go to market this summer. So we are preparing for that, and currently we are seeking funds for marketing, which will be around $10,000 to $20,000. But we still have like word of mouth and social media leverage, so we are not stopping at this stage. So yeah, this is our startup, which will make reading process in a new way, with being more interactive and fun to read.
Thank you, Miranda. You were past time, so but I didn't stop it anyways.
Yeah, I thought I had time.
Yes,
I didn't.
questions.
So I love that you're tackling this space. Can you tell us a little bit more about how the product works?
So product is based on popular masterpieces of literature, and also some elementary school subjects such as history. We are targeting history. And its application on mobile and computer and different gadgets. And it has interactive tools, like, for example, if you are reading like Red Riding Hood story, for example, when there is like decision to be made, for example, you want to trust the wolf or don't trust the wolf. So it's gonna go separate ways. So it's kind of to make more like creativity and critical thinking for children, to train it, and concentration also. And there's gonna be some puzzles, like mind exercising games. So you are also getting educated and having fun.
So at Venture Guides, one of the things that we believe is, to be a successful business, you have to put your customer first, team second, and yourself third. So along those lines, though, understanding who your customer is, exactly who your customer is really
so as I said, parents, mostly parents of elementary school students, and well, also children as well, but parents are priority, and elementary schools, like public and private, mostly private at this stage.
Okay, good. Thank you.
So I really like this idea. My husband and I, we have 7 children, and we're big on academia and reading. Yeah, I know.
And
What
children.
comes to yes,
And
definitely.
you're here. I don't understand how
Yes,
you have like a VC fund and like the
yes.
fashion and what the
I
what
know.
point?
Our youngest just turned 1 years old, and we're expanding. We're still expanding. So it's quite a journey, and we have hundreds of books in the house. So I found it very interesting, the whole journey, if you will. You can go to a decision point, and you can go to, down one path or the other. I find that extremely fascinating. It makes me think of licensing deals. So are you creating these stories, or do you plan on licensing with like the Disneys of the world?
So yeah, we started with fairy tales, which does not really have copyright issues. Very old fairy tales, but
I think I've heard you pitch before. I think I've heard you pitch. Have you pitched in this forum? I think I remember. So you're starting with fairy tales because you don't have to worry about the licensing, correct?
At this stage, yes, but in the future, we also want to do modern publication with copyright from authors themselves. But first, like, we want to focus on folk fairy tales, so maybe local Georgian fairy tales or stories which doesn't really have copyright issues. And in case of school subjects, yes, we have to take the copyright issue.
So are you currently in the market? Do you have users?
We are on testing stage, so we don't sell yet, but we are going to start selling pretty soon. We are just informing people and popularizing our product, and it has not been sold yet, but soon we're starting soon.
Okay, I'm interested. You mentioned 10 to 20,000. I think you're going to need more than that. So
yeah, of course, more than better. But
even on initial marketing. So Danielle, you can connect us.
Absolutely. Congratulations. There is one Sharks interested. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay, and also in the chat, I see Heather Lower interested. So probably you want to exchange contacts in the chat as well. And we're moving on to the next person, and the next would be Claire W. Claire, you ready?
I'm ready. Claire, CEO of Buddy. Nice to meet you all. Buddy is a revolutionary social connectivity app. I'm originally from the music and entertainment industry, and I've been very passionate about keeping younger generations safe in crowds. So if any of you have been in a crowd and you found your phone doesn't work and you've lost your friends, Buddy bridges the gap. So what Buddy does allows you to chat and find your friends without cellular network. We built a lot of tech last year, and we've just recently repositioned. So what we also built was a dispatch platform that allows you to contact the venue without cellular, and the dispatch platform will automatically locate the nearest security guard that will get to your location and chat with you directly. So you don't need a human to do that. We are 2 weeks away for our MVP launch. We have LOIs totaling 550,000 people, events, and we've got more to come in. We've got an open seed round where we're raising $3 million, and we've managed to do everything so far with $380,000. So we've got a great team, had several exits, and yeah, we're really excited about the launch.
Fantastic. The founder with several exits. Fantastic. Yeah, Sharks, your questions.
How does it work?
So what
that was my question too.
Same.
Yeah, I know. 2 minutes is like I have to catch my breath from it. So so what it does, our pattern, it looks for the best available network. So if cellular is available, it will send via cellular. If Wi-Fi is, it will send via Wi-Fi. Or if not, it will kick into mesh technology. There is a range limit of 100 meters, which is the length of the football pitch, and it will bounce between nodes. So you could send to your friend who's 10 miles, 20 miles, but it would have to jump between the nodes.
Wow.
So it's almost like a virtual walkie-talkie is what you're trying to create within a, is this, again, thinking about who are your customers? Are they really just people at a large crowded event within a small area?
No. So what happened last year, we've demoed at various stadiums and we demoed to Live Nation and AEG. We demonstrate how it could work in a crowded environment. What we realized at that moment is that once we've got AEG and Live Nation, we're talking about a duopoly. So we sat down and we was like, how can we make this bigger? So we've spent the last 6 months retargeting the product towards Gen Z. So if you think about building a community around location and recommendations, that's Buddy. So think Snap Maps, Foursquare, because we have unique pins. You can create unique pins on our map. They delete after 24 hours. You can use that. I've got Gen Zs. I've got one in college and I track them on Life 360, but they're soon going to kick me off there. So Buddy's more of an empowering tool that allows you to kind of stay in the loop and be connected.
No, now we're getting to the real market.
yeah,
Tell
exactly.
Parents, Maya. 7 to watch.
I know. It's fun. I'm interested in, I guess I'm not really understanding that your hook point, what is going to hook a crowd of individuals or groups of these Gen Zers or whomever you're targeting to actually want to utilize this.
Yeah, so we have features that you can, so it's about keeping in touch from your buddy network. So you think Foursquare, and Gen Z is all about authenticity and trust. I think Foursquare is more about an algorithm and recommendations to people you don't know. So one of the pins is that you can create a pin and they delete after 24 hours unless you save it. So you can be, this is a great coffee shop, and you can save that. If you're at Coachella and you've got a meat place, you can create a pin there. You can also, as well as chatting with or without cellular data, you can find your friends like Snap Maps, but it also, you can
is this something that, is this a standalone product or something that integrates into other applications or platforms?
No, it's a standalone product. So we originally, that was the talk from Live Nation and AEG, using it as an SDK white label. And this is why we built a more product of value.
And what's your business model?
Data and premium paid and brand sponsorship from the activations. We collect first-party cleanse data that a lot of the activations don't have access to. So take, for example, Techno Parade that we're doing in Paris in September, 400,000 users that they don't have data on. We can offer that data, enable them for them to attract brand sponsorship.
So you want to hook the Gen Zers onto your app to socialize with one another in a trusted format, so then you can extrapolate their data and sell it to X.
Yeah, anonymized.
To do targeting. Okay, understood.
Selling the data is a concern, honestly, because more and more people, they wouldn't get they wouldn't give you the data for like access or like internet or Wi-Fi. How big is the market? It feels like it's not that big.
I agree 100%.
Generation Z is the biggest generation with nearly 2 billion.
But you can't trick them so easily. This is what I'm like. Why are they going to want to utilize it? We still haven't heard that. You'd have to give like a really good value proposition, and that's what I think all of us are seeking. What is that value proposition where they're going to say, we want to utilize this? Is the TikTok, this is the, I don't know, the Vine that it was. Like, what is it that you're offering where it's going to, or what is that? There's like a new gadget, Locket. Like Locket was really hot at one point. So what is the hotness you're bringing?
Yeah, as well as creating unique pins, you can also do loops, which is more like keeping your buddies in the loop. There's no apps that offer that, just for separated best buddy and buddy network. So we're more of a safety app, but we reposition. So you're like,
it's like a Marco Polo type of situation where you're doing walkie-talkie sending it. About the other ladies, we understand that you have some pretty cool functionality. Just wondering, what is that hook that's going to make these people come?
It's about being in the loop and making sure that you've got a trusted network that you can access. So take, for example, Citizen, for example, it's more about fear. So with Buddy, if you post a loop for help, it's enabling your buddies to help you and to know where you are. So we're talking to Pride in LA, 400,000 people. They're using Buddy there so people can track their buddies where they are, because there's been several instances where people have gone missing and they haven't been able to track what parties they were at. That's another use. So
I see what Sage is saying. Sage is saying, think about Coachella. She's saying you're targeting event-based ecosystems, if you will. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm originally from the music. That's our activations. Yes.
Okay, understood. So
but it's more of an innovative growth strategy. So originally we were going to license the crowd dispatch platform. Now we're giving it away for free.
Okay. I'm interested. We have an event that we're doing in July, go-to-market strategy for one of our apps called Yummy Delicious Week LA. I'm interested to talk to you based off of that, see how your technology may integrate with what we're doing, and possibly I'll understand a bit more and see where a potential investment would go. So Danielle, I'm interested in connecting.
Fantastic. So sounds like a pilot on the horizon for this project. Fantastic.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for the pitch, and we're moving on to the next people. And so let's check the guys. Maybe this is the time for the guys to actually meet women investors. So Harshit Kumar, your turn. Are you here?
Yeah. Hi, am I audible?
I got 2 minutes.
Yeah, thanks, sir. So my name is Harshit. Actually, I'm solo founder at Byteco. I'm trying to build a network of stakeholders in supply chain in FMCG. Now, what does it mean? Is right now, if you see, there are hundreds of companies trying to digitalize the retail shop in India and help them to transact between the customer. But when you just directly switch to the transaction which is happening between a retailer, distributor and manufacturer, those transaction is still happening in old fashion. And right now, the best suited technology which they use is WhatsApp to talk with each other and place order. So through our tech stack, we are trying to facilitate transaction between the stakeholders in supply chain, especially B2B transaction. And this is our tech stack. And right now, what is the traction actually? So we are in touch with one manufacturing company. I have already built a prototype. I'm a tech developer actually. Four of the distributors are in already like the manufacturing company whom actually manufacturers supplies to. Those are also in touch with us. So by end of May, the production app would be ready and they would start transacting with each other. Right now, I'm looking for actually 50,000 as a pre-seed investment. So that because I'm a solo founder, so it is hard to sustain my own all these tech stack building between the B2B transactions. So yeah, pretty much it for short pitch.
All right, thank you so much. And dear Sharks, your questions. Are there any questions to this founder?
I'm going to be honest, I don't really understood what you're doing.
Okay, so I'm just trying to facilitate the transaction between stakeholders in supply chain. That is all. We're trying to build a network of stakeholders in supply chain and allow them to transact with each other. Now, how it is different from the current method or traditional method is each manufacturing company operates their own tech stack, and that due to that, actually retailers who buy from several manufacturing companies, they are not digitalized in B2B transaction because they deal in 5 companies, 10 manufacturing company, and everyone have their own apps, which means a retailer has to use 10 or 5 apps to transact with various.
Please be concise. It's taking a lot of time.
Sorry.
Yeah. So it seems like you need some refinement on your pitch. I'm not quite clear. I'm not clear at all exactly what it is. I do understand it has something to do with software and tech stack, but perhaps maybe you rejoin next time with a clearer pitch.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Thanks.
One piece of feedback, start with the problem, like walk us through how did you come to the conclusion that this is a problem? So we can relate then whatever comes next, we in the flow, because you lost personally me.
Okay, so I'll keep this in mind. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dear ladies, please raise your hands if you want to pitch, and we will take guys for the moment, because I see a lot of ladies here, and We would like to hear your pitches too. Now, the next person would be Panashe Matsudzo. Oh, sorry if I pronounced it incorrectly. You ready? Panashe?
I don't know. No, it's totally fine. At least you got Panashe correct. It's totally fine. So my name is Panashe. I'm the co-founder of Avalon. So we are a health tech company, and essentially there are a couple of problems that we saw with challenges, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, where manual assurance verification processes delayed a lot of providers, paper-based claims, as well as paper-based records for patient registrations. So what we saw was that there was a lot of backlog for a lot of administrators in the private healthcare sector, as well as so as well as a lot of them were facing burnouts from seeing a lot of patients, and their systems wouldn't be able to cope with it, and a lot of them relied too heavily on paper-based processes essentially. So what we came up with was a decentralized medical records platform, and it's powered by AI. So it allows providers to cut down on training time, usage of the platform, by just telling the EHR platform what to do. For example, showing documents per patient, submitting a medical aid claim, setting up appointments. Avalon is able to do this simply by just typing it in, similar to ChatGPT. So currently, we are targeting private healthcare providers. We have over 1,000 patients onboarded. We have about 6 healthcare providers. We're doing $500 monthly recurring revenue, but we're experimenting with our revenue pricing a bit, because we also do have some clients on $3,000 annually. And starting next month, actually, we'll be getting at $9,000 monthly. So about 3 months ago, we were on this pitching session again, and then we got some feedback. So we worked on our business model. Then we also identified that a particular feature which we had, which was speech to text, was really needed for certain providers who saw a lot of patients daily. So what we realized is when we launched Avalon, and it included speech to text, we had 96% accuracy, and a lot of them actually moved from medical transcriptionists that they were using to actually using our platform. Currently, we are raising $100,000 because we want to reach the next 20,000 providers the next 3 years and reach $7 million annual recurring revenue. So we have 3 co-founders. Myself, I am the product development. I'm a Northwestern Launchex alumni, Microsoft World Champion, and I'm an AI specialist. I've been building AI platforms since I was in high school. We have Robin, who is a specialist in the healthcare administration, 6 years in the industry, worked with the largest hospitals and surgeons in sub-Saharan Africa. Then we have Mohammed, who is also a product development manager, as well as he exited a startup called Deliver.
You passed time, please wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
So yeah, I just yeah.
All right.
This is pretty interesting. This is pretty interesting. I'm actually from Sudan, so from Africa as well. And when I'm looking at the work that you're doing, I see it not only that you're providing this platform, it's somewhat of a digital transformation as well, because many hospitals and healthcare providers in Africa are still paper-based. So one, I want to know how, so not only are you going to have to digitize their paper records, if one, are you doing that? 2, how are you providing any form of training? How intuitive is your platform based off of the way that they've been doing business before? And what is do you have an exit strategy?
All right. So essentially, before we even incorporated AI, our goal was to make our EHR platform very lean. So outside of just AI, it takes about an hour for them to actually understand and use it. We also have embedded training tools. So even when they log in outside of our sessions, when we're doing a demo, the dashboard itself takes them through it. And it's been rated the easiest so far out of all the systems they've used. If you are familiar with the healthcare industry, a lot of systems are quite complicated, so they take a lot of training sessions, etc. But ours does not. We actually the EHR space is quite fierce, but in terms of our training times, as well as our patient decentralized records, as well as the areas in which we've been able to help our providers, we're able to compete with a lot of our EHR providers, even globally. Epic Systems, Advanced MD, Practice Fusion, of course, they have their benefits here and there, but we are targeted. We are the best solution for our target market. Private practices with healthcare providers being surgeons, GPs, physiotherapists, etc. And currently, whilst we just recently released Avalon, the AI part of it, we're seeing that it only takes about 5 minutes just to tell them what to do, because it's just a toolbar. We actually have
Please
a
be concise with
demo
your
of it.
answer, because other people want to pitch, and just please be concise. Sorry.
Just quickly, what's your path
Yeah.
path to profitability, and do you have an exit strategy?
So currently we are working on a business model, on a monthly business model, but as well as on an annual one. Like I said, we're experimenting on our revenue strategy. Currently, we're also looking to see if we can get partnerships. I can't talk about acquisitions at the moment, but especially with where we are now, we are looking towards mainly partnering with companies who already have a large customer base, considering that our EHI platform can be used with barely any training. So that means even locums or freelance medical professionals can just use our system and in less than an hour. So yeah.
Okay. Yes, I think I've heard you pitch before. I'm interested in hearing more.
All right. Thank you. Sure.
Thank you. I just had one thought for you. As you're trying to get that flywheel going, it's important to do one thing really well. And I think it was Maya asked who your customers are, you listed off a whole lot of different providers, and I would encourage you to sort of focus on one persona and really figure out exactly what they need, and then build out from there. I find that's the most important.
Yeah, currently we are targeting surgeons, but I had to just expand so that I could show the total addressable market.
Gotcha.
But thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And the next person is Dina Scott Deity. Dina, are you ready? Hello, Dina. Please turn on.
Yes, I'm sorry. I had to mute everything. Good afternoon, everyone. This is my first time pitching for GGW Sharks. I always listen in and get feedback from the Sharks. And I pitch for Venture Started, so I'm going to try my best now because what I feel is important and I'm confident. Again, Dina Scott Deity. I'm going to give you a little bit about my background. I'm a former cardiovascular technician and also an oncology registered nurse. I also became electrical decor lighting product specialist. I combined both professions and created a revision of a UV gel machine. The reason why I created this machine, because when I got injured on my job, I wanted to pamper myself. But as I went into the nail industry, I saw a need for a new way of drying nails because of the harmfulness that was given to the consumer. And to myself, I received like some injury to my nails, and I know that there are people out there in the world that receive the same thing. So I came up with an idea, instead of putting your hand into the UV light to create a harmfulness, skin aging, skin infection, leading to skin cancer, I created a machine that you can just put your nails under the machine without harming your skin. So I'm here to pitch to the Sharks and let you know that it's a pre-early stage startup, and I'm just here for the world to know that I'm here to prevent this from happening to the world. And thank you.
Thank you. You were just right on time. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Dear Sharks, your questions.
Thank you. I actually didn't know that because I have gel on my nails. Like it causes cancer. Like what?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a registered former nurse, and the details of it is because when we go out into the sun, what is UV, ultraviolet light? What do we take for ultraviolet light? We have to put sunscreen on. You can't stay under the sun too long because you can get burned by the skin, which causes mutation of the cells. It's the same as you putting your hand under that light, especially for women that's going there every 2 weeks, getting their nails done. You're putting your whole hand under that light. Now you have young children doing it because out of school age, kids running to the nail salons, oh, Mom, I want my nails done, and getting all their pretty nails done. So if they're 14 years old, the time they reach 25, they're going to have aged skin already. and may accumulated something. So I wanted to stop that from happening.
Wow, I didn't know. It would be helpful to provide some studies around that from like universities, so we could see that the study was done, because it seems like it wouldn't be selling those lamps. It would cause cancer, because we can sue them and like retire with that settlement.
But just think about it. If they got one machine out all the time, in the industry, they usually provide gloves for you, but that's the high-end industry part of the nail owners. The low-cost industry, some of them probably don't even know how to really read like that. They open up these nail salons to get their nails done because they get consumers' nails done because it's a business, and a lot of them are trained for it. But do the nail techs really know about that machine if you don't read into it really? They just know, oh, this is a lamp. We're going to use this to, but they're not really telling their customers, okay, this can harm you. But it's facts that it is. Just like if you stand under the sun, you can also get mutation of the cells. So that's why you use sunscreen. Now, if they use sunscreen on the hand, the skin, you wouldn't, because you're being protected. But a lot of people are not going to go and do that unless the consumer is bringing their own stuff to use, their own glove to use. Because like I said,
please be concise with your answer.
So Dina, really quickly. So this is heavily my background. I've been a licensed cosmetologist since the age of 18. I actually, in high school, I did the program where you do cosmetology half day, you do your school does a half. So I've been in this industry for a very long time. I'm also one of the ladies who gets my nails done every 2 weeks. I put my hand under the UV. I know that this is affecting me negatively. I've tried the gloves. It's just not convenient. I don't remember them every time. Right. Now, my question to you is, are you saying you've created a device that can cure the nail gel, not utilizing UV lights?
Okay. Yes. No, not using it, but by me being an electrical product specialist now, with the LEDs, there's color dip temperatures of a LED, and I went eco-friendly. So now everything's eco-friendly.
And do you have that study?
I have the study, and I also it's patent pending, which will be ready in June.
Okay, perfect. Well, you have the IP, you have the study. I'm interested. We have Cosmesthetics is a division under M&D Ventures. So this may be something in our Cosmesthetics division that we may be interested in. I'd like to take a look at what IP protection you have, and then the actual the studies to see how reliable they are.
Right.
The
Thank
efficacy
you.
of them.
I come from NYU Medical Center School of Medicine, so I have the doctor.
You have an impressive background.
All right.
Yes,
well, one shark is interested. What about the rest of the sharks?
So I haven't heard anything, Dina, around what's going to be the cost to produce this product, and then and how does that compare? Nail salons don't have a lot of margin, and I worry about how you're going to get adoption, how you're going to get nail salons to adopt the product. I think consumers would prefer it, but
yeah, well, far as the owners and also the manufacturers, which we're working with now to let them know that if they can come aboard with me, we can make an agreement and contracts to start fading them away. Or they can actually still use theirs as long as they use their guidelines to use the machine properly. I'm not trying to take over everyone, but I'm just trying to keep the prevention from the cancer as me being a nurse. And far as the cost, since I'm an early pre-stage startup, I'm working with InventHelp right now, and I'm working with a couple of other people with NowSite. The cost is anywhere from $35 to $50 for each machine. I haven't did a wholesale prices yet, but I'm going to be working with a lot of distribution. As far as Amazon will be getting my products out, Target will be getting my products out.
I agree with my fellow shark. I like the idea purely because of the interest. It interests me, but it doesn't sound like you really are clear on your path to revenue. Yeah, but here's the thing: we're sharks. We want to know what that profitability looks like, and I think you need to fine tune that to her point.
I will. I will. It's just
Yep.
that I came on to you guys because I'm early stage and everything is just starting up. So I just wanted to get that first pitch out there, as my coach told me to get it out there so people can know. And then from there, so I'll have everything for you for the next time as
Okay.
well. Thank
We'll
you.
see you next time. We'll
Thank
look forward
you.
to updates.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much for the presentation. We're moving on, and let's take the final founder here. That would be Harut Markaryan, and we will then move to the final closing statement from the Sharks.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You got 2 minutes.
All right, thank you. So I'm the co-founder of Markbotics, and we develop assistive robotics to reimagine independent living and accessibility for the elderly and those living with disabilities. People with mobility challenges are at risk of falls, and in the United States, $50 billion is spent yearly on medical costs related to fall injuries. Now, between the severe needs for long-term services and support within the aging population and their desire to stay in their homes as they age, the need for caregivers is increasing. Unfortunately, there's a national caregiver shortage and the turnover rate of 65%. The future of healthcare is actively being reimagined as we speak. So Markbotics developed the ground robotic assistant for care enablement, or GRACE, to assist individuals in performing various daily tasks safely and independently. GRACE will eliminate the risk of falls, improve accessibility, and reduce caregiver burnout. Our team includes Yale, MIT, and Pepperdine graduates with significant engineering and robotics expertise and decades of experience in successful startup building. I am a roboticist who designed the air refueling flight controls algorithm for the Boeing C-17 and received the Distinguished Engineering Project Award for winning the Autonomous Uncrewed Vehicle Systems International Competition. Jeff is an award-winning serial entrepreneur who's been a part of multiple well-known startups, including Priceline.com, Ubit.com, Booking.com, and more. And Tom has several patents with decades of experience in advanced engineering technologies and API architectures. We are operating under a robot as a service business model, basically transaction and subscription based. Individuals will have the option to purchase the robot and have the option to subscribe to our mobile app. We have 70 letters of intent, and we will sell the robot through independent living facilities, hospitals, the VA, and through distribution partners. The total addressable market is over $50 billion with a compounded annual growth rate of over 5%. We are asking for $2 million investment that will allow us to launch a minimum viable product to market within 8 months. So radical innovation in home healthcare is possible now through GRACE. And I hope you join our mission in making life accessible for all. Thank you.
Harut, thank you. Thank you, Harut. Could you again, just kind of narrow in on what's your target market right now? Is it the homes? Is it individuals? Is it health? Health.
So, yeah, initially it will be independent living facilities because those are the people who we have direct contact with, and we think it'll be easier and faster to have that adoption. But we do have the 70 letters of intent actually are from individual users as well. So we have individual user demand on one side. The only part is that they can't afford the price of the robot. So the price of the robot on the MVP level, it will be anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000. Even though we're significantly lower cost than our competitors, it's still a huge undertaking for an individual person. So that's why we went on to the robot as a service business model.
Mm-hmm.
What does a robot do? Can you specify? I'm familiar with the industry overall and fall prevention, but I haven't heard about the robot solution yet.
Yeah, so what the robot is going to do is the solution is twofold. So it's serving the individual who needs the care, and at the same time, it's helping the caregivers give more time to them so they don't have to take care of that mundane tasks. So the robot will be able to pick up stuff for you, retrieve items. We've tested this robot with amputees, people with back surgeries, just elderly, blind people. So as you can see, there's a wide range of things that the robot can do. Some of the things that we tested specifically is, retrieving items when they're delivered to you at homes. So we tested that. So you don't have to bend over and risk a fall. which happened with my neighbor. She's on the heavier side, not that old, really, 60 years old, but she's on the heavier side. So she bent over to pick up the stuff that Amazon delivered. She fell, hit her head. So that could have been avoided. It can retrieve, for example, another amputee asked for the retrieval of his urinal when he doesn't have his legs worn, like the prosthetics. So for him to put the legs on and go for to bring the urinal, the robot can bring the urinal to him. Now I had the question last time I was pitching, not here, somewhere else. They said, well, why can't he put the urinal next to him? Well, because you don't want that urinal smelling next to you. This is coming from him, right? Not my opinion. And we even tested this with a quad amputee who had a service dog. She said there has been a lot of situations where a service dog would pull extra hard on her arm, and the prosthetic will come out, and the robot won't be able to put it back. Oh, sorry, the dog won't be able to put it back. So the robot will be able to do that for her. Now, the differentiating factor really between us and our competitors is that we are providing a two-way communication, like 24 hours real-time communication. So if I'm taking care of my grandmother, let's say, and I can't be around, not only I can see her and talk to her in real time, I also will be able to operate the robot remotely. So if I'm sitting here,
short on your answer.
So, really quickly, what is the retail price for one of these robots?
So as I said, we're trying to keep it between $3,000 to $5,000 on the minimum viable product.
So,
meaning
that's understood. That's a bit on the high end for me currently as an investor for somebody who's going to be purchasing these. I'd be interested once you bring that price down.
Harun, what is your competition? How much of these robots, what are they selling for, and how are you different from what someone else is producing?
So our primary competitors are Moxie from Diligent Robotics and AO from Aeolus. Moxie, they both serve hospital setting to relieve nursing burnouts. So our differentiating factor is that we are universally designed, so we follow universal design principles. So the robot can be fit in any environment and would be able to suit any person, regardless of their ability or disability. They'll be able to operate the robot. So the two-way communication, that's our differentiating factors. Another differentiating factor, and the remote operability is a huge differentiating factor. So that's those are the differentiating factors.
I'm actually coming back in really quickly. I don't want to be too hasty on this. What are your margins?
So second year projection is 50 million sales and 3.6 million
per unit. What are your margins per unit?
Oh, per unit, 40%. As of right now, no scaling.
Okay, well, that's a bit more attractive.
Yeah, and to answer her question, our competitors' robots are anywhere between $30,000 to $50,000. So that's a comparison. So and the reason we're able to keep it at $3,000 to $5,000 per robot is because our minimum viable product will not have artificial intelligence or machine learning. That's coming later, but it won't be at that $3,000 to $5,000 cost.
All right.
Retail.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Daniel, can you connect us?
Yes, I will, definitely. One shark is in. Yeah, definitely I will connect. Any other sharks would like to connect? Okay.
I'm already connected on LinkedIn. I'm typing him the message. So.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. So it seems like we all set. We have John Skutsuriani and Sanket Raj Singh didn't pitch. They really wanted to pitch, ladies, but we are past time, and it's time for us to close. So, John, sorry, but probably next time we'll have really good investors next time as well. On this note, I would like John, you just share the information here. Ladies will take a look at as well in the chat. So seems like we've met today our goals, and we had a fantastic, phenomenal, I would say, women event today. Thank you, ladies, investors joining. You made this day amazing, and thank you, dear startup founders, ladies, for pitching. I know it's not easy to pitch within 2 minutes, but this is what we can allow, and you've been amazing so far, and if you would like to have these events more like this, we will make sure to put it in place. So before we close, I just want to say that because of you, we became product of the day on Product Hunt, and thank you for your support. This event been great so far, and with zero marketing, we're reaching tremendous numbers on how popular this event is, just because you support us on social media. Please keep supporting us so we don't have to make it like have extra cost or something on this. That's important. We're founders, support founders. So with this note, I would like our judges to close this session today. And Jane, would you like to go first?
Yeah, thank you very much. This has been, I heard about so many different products from so many different talented founders. I have really enjoyed this. So especially great to hear from women, but from men as well. I wish you guys the best of luck, and remember, always put the customer first.
Put the customer first. That's great feedback. Thank you so much. Kristina.
Thank you so much again, guys. The most important part that you have the courage to come here and to tell your story, to tell the problem in the world that you deeply care about, and you're not going to give up until you find the solution. And from all of the presentations we've seen from the idea, from the product that already is ready to be sold. So it's incredible. And I really appreciate that all of the people who participate in the discussion in the chat, and some of the founders, they were supporting other founders. That's the community that I think is the most important part. And personally, I got 2 startups that I'm interested in introducing to VC funds that I know. So we'll see how it goes, but I think that's a great result from raw presentation on the spot, no preparation. No filtering. So thank you so much for organizing, Daniil.
Great feedback. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, and we hope everyone to see you all as well. Sage, your turn.
Yeah, echoing everything that's been said before me. It's really cool to see founders supporting founders, especially in the chat. Really love seeing that. I think the only thing, I feel like I say this every time, but it's important to always be learning. And I think that there's opportunity to learn both from your own pitch and pitching to the Sharks, but also to learn from other people's pitches and the feedback that we're giving them. And so I hope that you are paying attention to each other and noting what kind of questions we're asking some of your peers and the other entrepreneurs, so that you have the answers to those when you're ready.
Thank you, Sage. Appreciate it. Great to have you with us. Kelly, your turn.
I mirror the comment on learning. I thought it was also very impressive to see, returning founders to the platform. While this was my first time, kind of judging one of those events, it's great to hear, that there's participation and that some founders are really going for it. I think as a technology investor, we heard about some software companies. It was not necessarily clear to me at some points what would have been proprietary. So perhaps without disclosing exactly your secret sauce, mentioning where, and that was mentioned by other of the founders, by other of the judges, but mentioning what is kind of your key differentiator, where you have that defensibility, and making sure that that's clear. So thank you very much for having me today. It was, a pleasure to be there for you guys.
It was a pleasure for us that you're here, and thank you for being a judge today, and hope to see you again in our events. Maya, your final statements.
Sure. So in the spirit of this being a women's event, I want to just emphasize my absolute passion for proliferating women in society in general and as entrepreneurs. And as such, my strategy is to be as critical on them, as aggressive as I need to be on them, as hard as I can be, so that they're prepared to go out into this cruel, crazy world of entrepreneurship. So for the entrepreneur that was on here, for example, earlier with the social media, with the colleges, I'd rather be the woman that told her she can't do it, and that fuels her to say, I'm going to prove that woman wrong, and she's successful, than, just saying, it's a great pitch. Thank you for having the courage to do it. No, I want to put some fuel under her butt. So I'm here to shake things up a bit with women. I want us to challenge each other. I want you guys to challenge me. I want to be able to have those open dialogues, because again, the goal is to proliferate us women in entrepreneurship, in social settings. And the way that we're going to be able to do that is by competing.
Thank you so much. And we have one word from Durant. He was asking to say something. So Durant was one of our most frequent.
I mean, well, I saw your comment. So I'm glad that you're taking that. Listen, I want to follow up with you. Follow up with me in a couple months. I want to hear you pitch again, okay?
Yeah, so this was an incredible event. It was super informative. I had to tune out a few times. I just was at the dentist, but the ladies were incredible. I just wanted to say to the lady judges, all of them aren't here. Maybe some of them can convey the message to the ladies that had to drop out. I know it sucks that we even have to call this a women's shark event, because it's like, what does that mean? We don't say men sharks when we actually do it. And it's not a shot to Daniil, because Daniil sucks. He hates that he has to do this as well. But that's the reason why my wife moved with such aggression and passion. And I got to tell you guys, she do the same thing in the household with all 7 of our children. It's always the same. And we need to get to a point in society where, hey, if the women are better, they're just better as human beings. And this is going to be a jump start for that. So I'm glad that you ladies are continuing to show up and continue to push those women out there. Hey, ladies, if you're still here inside of the Zoom, so what if the pitch isn't ready? Do it anyway. So they can become a normacy in the consciousness of humanity, where we can just take the way the women should and just say, hey, we have investors here today. So congratulations, ladies. It was pretty remarkable. Thanks, Daniil.
It was great seeing you on this event. Even on ladies event, you managed to show up, so I didn't miss any single event so far. That's fantastic. Okay, so this is the final words of this event. So thank you so much, dear startups, for being with us. Thank you, dear judges, for being on this event and judging, giving you feedback. And of course, we will connect every single person you selected. So right after the event today or tomorrow. And I'm asking everyone, please go on evaluation form that I shared here in the chat, and just tell us your feedback, how we can improve, how we can make it better. Maybe we can name it some other way for specifically for women. Would you like to have this event once again, and so on. And thank you everyone for supporting Global World. Just shout out on social media. This is how we would find more great founders, great investors right for you. And let's make it together a fun place. That's exactly not for me, but for us. So see you all next week. The link here in the chat for the next event, please RSVP, and take care and have a great rest of the week. Thank you, ladies. We'll see you.
Have a nice day. Bye.